Okay, the November meeting of the Board of Water Commissioners is called to order. Okay, reading of the minutes of the previous meeting. Hopefully everybody got them by email. Any motion to accept?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, second. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And we'll hold off on the bills and accounts until they're.
Did the mail copy not show up again?
Huh?
Did the mail copy?
No, I think it.
Is it a line?
The minutes, you mean?
The post.
No, I got my whole packet.
Oh.
My packet came in by Monday.
Yeah,
Monday was the holiday, right?
We can't count the post office, so I'm just curious.
No, I was before that then. I must have gotten it
Saturday.
Friday or Saturday. I got my thing. Just
Saturday.
was missing the minutes.
Oh, all right.
So, and then when you sent the electronic copy, it was missing in there too.
Mhm.
So,
Gotcha.
so he sent out another copy of the minutes. So, but no, I actually came. Mine came, like you said.
Yeah, mine Saturday.
Oh, Saturday probably. Cooper Lake improvements.
The screen chamber was completed today. So that is it. That should be all the site work. There's one more survey that needs to be submitted to the engineer, but I believe they'll remove their locks from the gates this afternoon. I was up there this morning and the screen chamber is very nice. It was definitely worth getting that replaced. You don't have to jump the last two steps anymore and hope the grading that you're landing is going to hold. So it's a much needed improvement. So that is done.
We're just waiting for final plans from CDM.
Yeah, I talked to Schnabel today
Or Schnabel.
about the manuals, and he thought they were pretty much ready to go. So we should be getting everything wrapped up here in the next couple of weeks, hopefully. But the work is now complete. So that last hangar that wasn't really, the screen chamber I wasn't really considering part of the project. That was kind of the last minute.
Right, that was a kind of an add-on, right?
So that's done. So that's the project. The other thing I have is, I'm sure everybody's seen the news. New York State has 15 counties that the governor has put in a drought watch, and New York City has also done the same.
No, I didn't see that.
Okay, so that was last week, New York City, and I think the governor did it maybe the Friday before.
Okay.
So, I mean, in the superintendent's report, you'll see that as of the end of October, we really are right on our historical level. I think we were 10th lower than we are historically for October.
But Ulster County was one of those.
One of the 15. Yes. It's basically, I think it was Schoharie all the way down to Richmond County, including Orange and all those. So anything south of Albany basically is in a drought watch. Maybe Rensselaer was excluded, but 15 total.
So is there anything that we have to do?
So, I mean,
she preclude us from doing anything?
As of the last 2 weeks, we have continued to drop, where historically we would start coming back up now. In our emergency response, we don't have an official drought watch. So I guess my plan was to maybe just do a couple social media posts of, you've seen that, you know, the surrounding area has a very dry fall this year. Just be aware of how you're using your water, something like that. And unofficial, just educational posts, kind of like we did at the project with that it works. I mean, we're 5 point. What did I say, Jim? I just looked 5.4, 5.3 down right now. So we're just over 1,100.
Okay.
So I don't think it's.
Yeah, I mean, you were basically,
I mean,
like you said, right on the mark, on the historical stuff.
Just make sure people are aware. I mean,
I think everybody is pretty much aware when you see all the forest fires on TV every night.
I haven't posted anything yet, but that's my plan. Just put a few posts out there about how you use your water and just be aware.
So our next thing would be a drought.
The first
warning
is a alert.
An alert.
We're not at that point yet. I just
okay.
Advisory alert warning.
we have alert.
Alert. What?
I was just looking at it. Alert, warning, and then the last one is disaster. But I haven't.
Where were we the last time when we had Cooper Lake down? We were doing the Cooper Lake work. We were in a warning.
We were in, we were in,
where we restricted water.
The flows are way down too.
Well, yeah, I mean,
the city's
nothing's,
only doing 2.6 million a day,
Sure.
so. We had
We're
done,
already doing a great job conserving.
I don't think we could be much lower than we are. So I mean, we had done, conservation notices before. We had a drought emergency before. So we went from alert and we went right to emergency.
but the normal process is alert,
warning,
warning,
disaster.
emergency, and then disaster.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think we're not to that point.
Right.
It's something that we're keeping an eye on, and we're watching the reservoir. We had some major leaks a few weeks ago. They turned out to be service leaks. They were both repaired immediately once they were discovered, and we were seeing the numbers climb with it back down. So the city's doing 2.6, and we got the 700 holes there. So that's about as well as it's ever been. So that's
Matt, when you said it's 5.4 now, what is that? Like
5.4 feet.
feet? Okay.
Below the top
Max capacity.
the maximum capacity.
Well,
Went down another, on your report here, we were at 4.7 at the end of.
So yeah, we're losing about 10 minutes. So it's been 2 weeks since that number, right? Or say so 15, 13.
Yeah,
13.
When Cooper Lake was down to having the work, it was down artificially 10 feet. So we're 5 feet above where we were when we started with Cooper Lake, and
Yeah, it's still higher than I'd seen it for the first 2.5 years. I was
right,
sitting
right.
So
it's, we're still in.
But I mean, when you go up there, you can see that it's lower.
Yeah, I actually was up there. I rode around last week. I was actually surprised at how much water was in there.
I saw you.
Did you see me?
No.
So you're on.
I actually missed. You're coming up the hill. I always miss where the turnoff is for the. No, I know. I was planning on going Cooper Lake Road anyway, because that's where you get the best view. I mean, coming over, but I missed actually where the turnoff, where the house is.
Okay.
I always miss that. I'm maybe coming up that hill and not thinking to look.
So a year ago, at the end of November, we were 6.8 feet down.
Okay.
So we had just started. We started bringing the water back up at the end of October, or the end of sometime in October. We started rising again because we were not keeping it artificially low anymore. So we were 6.8 down in November, then we were full by December. But again, it's not. It depends on the rain. So we got 8.7 inches of rain last December. So 8 inches of rain in December, we can full again.
Need a tropical storm, huh?
Just a little rain. So that's Cooper. We're keeping an eye on the levels and the flows and all that stuff.
Okay. And at some point in time, you'll have a final one of those.
Yeah.
I mean, we still have payments that have to go out on that. Okay, engineering report.
I included that.
Everybody read that thoroughly? Everybody understand it all?
So yes, that's the $80,000 to get the engineering report that's needed to apply to ESC for funding. I mean, one of the projects on there, I'm not sure. So this funding would be for the IUP for 2026. So I'm thinking maybe we don't want to do lagoons as part of this, because I don't know if we can wait that long for the lagoons.
Okay.
So we're gonna need something done with them anyway, so I guess we're gonna have to spend the money regardless, but it might not necessarily get the grants for that through this IUP process. So we wait till the lagoons are in a state where we're going to be failing our sample. If we're violating a speed permit, the DEC could fine us up to $40,000 a day. But that's something we have to make sure it doesn't get to a point. We're not there yet, but this time next year, if we're still not doing something, it could become a problem. So that's one of the projects that we probably have to move forward sooner than the other.
Well, could they do that as part of this, but make that their first?
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna need to evaluate regardless of just in terms of.
Or we're gonna go out and
SRF funding and
hire them separately?
I think this step still needs to be done, just in terms of waiting for DWSRF funding, that project may not be able to wait for that funding. So we might have to look for alternative money or just bond it.
Right, but this is just to do the
This is
engineering report.
Yes. So it still needs to be done.
Right, so we're still gonna go through with this process and just ask them to concentrate on the lagoon, flood lagoon, to get those plans done before the other stuff?
I think it should all be able to be done in the same line.
Okay.
They have timelines in here. It's just in terms of, I just want to make it clear that I don't know if we're going to wait for the IEP.
Okay.
This round of funding
Right.
is going to be a ways out. And that one, while we're going to get the engineering report, it may have to be funded differently than a WIA grant or PWSRF funding.
Okay, some other funding. Hopefully, maybe with this climate change, there's different technologies, I guess, that they can employ.
Yeah, I mean, they're
Go down and look what
different options.
we're basically like Virginia and North Carolina weather anymore, aren't we?
We stores out now.
Yeah, so I mean,
It's all mechanical. It's all mechanical presses, depending on a filter press or a rotary press. They're gonna come up with something mechanical.
the technologies that were probably being used in the states of
Yes.
Virginia or
south.
North Carolina,
Yeah,
or
south, yeah. It's applicable up here now.
yeah, okay. So you need a motion to agree to this contract.
Yes.
Make a motion.
Okay, got a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, is there any further discussion about paying CDM Smith $80,000 to develop their engineering report? Okay, hearing none, I'll ask for a vote. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, carried. Budget.
Updated drafts and packets. Still no health insurance rates.
The second year in a row you missed, you know.
What's that?
Just want to remind you, the second year in a row you missed.
Thank you for doing that. I'm not signing up next year, just so you know. Then I'll never miss it.
So it'll be hopefully before the next meeting, I'll have rates for health insurance. And there's still no debt service schedule for Cooper, but I don't expect to have that before the year ends anyway.
So there's no immediate need for us to approve this here in November. We can approve the budget and
Typically it's approved in
December anyway.
This is a pretty solid start. We did the re-levy today, so that will change some of the revenue numbers around once I get the final numbers from Kevin. I think I have them. I got them at 3 o'clock today, but I haven't put them in here yet. So I'll just adjust some of the funds that we know we're getting for payments next year for those charges.
I mean, is there any way to, we talked about this before, possibly go in negotiations with the county to increase their fee of, was it 50,000 or
They pay 50%.
a year for us to manage their water system up there? That same amount has been there for quite a long time, correct?
Yeah, I don't know the dates on that.
I mean, I've been on the board quite a long time now. I don't remember it being anything other than $50,000 a year. So I just don't know if there's,
We can pull a contract and look into it and see.
yeah, I mean,
How long ago was that?
I don't know the dates.
He doesn't know, but-
Offhand.
Years, right?
it's been years. I mean, I bet you it's 10 years plus. And so there's been no increase in, had an agreement, a contract with them to manage their water system for $50,000 a year, and it's been no increase,
2004.
20 years.
There's nothing harmful than asking, sending out a letter and saying, increase
Yeah,
expenses, et cetera.
I mean, there's no anything in there about we're looking at things every couple of years, or, I mean, how long is that contract good for?
Shall automatically be renewed on a calendar year-to-year basis unless terminated by either party upon 90-day written notice.
Probably wouldn't be hurt to just say that.
You can't do 90 days notice.
They would like to discuss an increase in the fee.
Why not just send a letter to them and say it is increasing rather than say we'd like to discuss.
Okay, well, that's fine too.
It's gotta be reasonable now. I mean, you have to have maybe some justification for it so they can explain it.
Yeah, we have to look into that.
We'll go back and look at our increases over the last 20 years. Our water rate increases.
I mean, we can dig into it.
Yeah, I like to at least try to open those discussions.
I would say to send a letter to them saying, we are increasing it based upon fixed costs from X dollars to Y dollars. Maybe I'll just look for it and say, fine, as long as it's not outrageous.
Yeah, I mean, I just read in the paper, what was their fund balance or whatever they had was some ridiculous amount of,
Yeah, raising salaries 100%.
yeah, 163% for the chairman or whatever. So, I mean, it's not like,
Well, I would have to, I don't know. See what we do and what calculates out to them for the 50 dissipation or not. That's what. These are the numbers.
Just justified on time material, right? Or more than that.
I mean, they pay for, if there's a break up there, outside, like there was a break right now, they would pay for all the time.
Okay.
So that's not.
they would pay us.
Yeah.
We would do the work and
do now.
Yeah, the pump station maintaining is the key aspect that we do. So.
And where is that in regards to its repair?
No, that's our pump station.
Repairs,
They have
their pump station.
repairs they pay for 100%, right?
They pay for the chlorine, they get so samples, it's all paid for, they reimburse us for all that stuff.
Okay, I'd like to
They do
pursue
pay
that.
kind of stuff. That's not included in that number. So that cost would already be included. We pass those invoices on directly.
Okay. Lead service line inventory.
So that went to the state. The state has since uploaded, from the email I've seen, they've uploaded every lead service inventory they've received, and they're on a website. Or you can export the data and do whatever you want with it. I don't know what that website is offhand, but we did submit ours. There are letters that are going out to all the unknowns, all the lead services that we have as lead services, and also all the galvanized requiring replacement lines. And that letter basically just states the dangers of lead, things you can do to limit your exposure to lead. If it's unknown and you know what it is, contact us. Questions about sampling, reach out, stuff like that. It's basically a template right from the health department. The information for us in terms of contact is what was changed.
So the information that actually went to the state health department that's on this website is what exactly?
So it's the service location, what the material of the line is according to our records.
Everyone's or just the,
Every public water supply in the state of New York.
okay, so I could go on there and find out my address
Yeah,
and it would say,
it's not maybe your name, but you could look
right,
up your
you know, it
address.
would have my address, my service connection address, and it would say a lead service or an unknown.
Based on what we have submitted to them, yes. Anyway, to find out. So it's like health.data.ny.gov. So in there's a lead
And it's
service.
basically, they just downloaded all the information
Just a giant
that you-
database
that you sent them,
you can sort
that
it
you
by,
have.
so you can type in like Kingston and sort it by Kingston, or if you want to see Albany, you can put in Albany. You can put in the zip code you want to see, and it would just, you can do the whole state of New York if you have enough data in your space in your computer, download the whole thing. So it's just like all their websites that they have. It's like see through New York. It's just a bunch of data in a very basic format.
And
That can be
the information that will be there would be,
what was submitted on October.
right, but what are the choices? Either it's
Unknown.
unknown,
I mean, there's a bunch of different. So most of ours were either unknown, galvanized requiring replacement, or known other. I think those were the categories that we had. I mean, there's a lot more categories now, but I don't think we had any of those.
okay.
So.
I mean, you obviously had to fill in the database with a awful list of.
Yeah, for all, almost 8,000 of them. And we'll do it again next year.
Well, you continually update that database
Yeah,
as things change
done,
and those information comes in.
I mean, as we're looking at sending letters, I think there's going to be some that are listed on our loans that we're going to be able to knock out as not being led. So
Okay.
as we look at a little more detail, we're seeing some of the larger groupings.
And are you looking for some type of response back?
In the letter, it states like if you know that you don't have a lead service, or you know what it is, or you have records, just contact us here at this email or this phone number, and we'll update our records, and they'll be listed based on those. So if they call us and say, I know it's lead, we'll update it to lead. If they call us and say it was replaced 3 years ago, we'll change it to copper.
Okay.
Will the letters go out yearly, like if somebody moves at that address?
It'll go out to whatever mailing address we have for that
Okay.
service
Okay.
account, yeah. Unless you fall in one of the categories that doesn't require a letter. The other category is copper. That's, okay, I mentioned that. It's the other category. Which I think actually showed up as non-lead. It doesn't show up as copper. I think it's non-lead.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if I got that letter and I'm not sure what you have a record from me, I don't know if I would be able to tell you because.
Well, there was also part of that letter also says if you go to EPA's checking your service, it'll give you like step-by-step directions. If you get a penny and you scratch your service, if it scratches easily or it does this, it's lead. If it doesn't, then it's copper. So there's step-by-step things you can do. Okay. If it's magnetic, it's this. If it's not magnetic, so there's step-by-step with direct link there in that EPA website.
Is there things that we'll be able to send staff out to do that as opposed to
when people start calling, then we can make
an offer that service?
So it'll be tricky because we only have 10 people,
right?
That can do that kind of thing. So we'll spread them out.
Okay. Just so I mean that'll be an option because I mean I can imagine someone getting a letter and saying they don't even know where their water services.
We get a lot of pictures of gas meters.
Okay.
Outside the house. That's not your water meter. Yeah, we're hopefully the next 10 months we'll knock that number down significantly.
Okay. So what were those numbers anyway? Did you have them roughly?
I'll go back to last month. It was 2,700 lead, give or take, and
I want to say 17.
17 for
that's what I had in my notes here. I had 18 on notes, but I don't know if that was
18 for what?
Let me just open this. 2 seconds. So what we submitted was 2,700 lead service lines, 17 galvanized services requiring replacement, 2,956 non-lead, and 2,055 unknowns.
What was that,
55.
2005? So the galvanized services have to be replaced also then?
Not all of them. So if you have a galvanized service and it was ever downstream of lead, or we don't know if it was ever downstream of lead. So if the part of your service in the street is copper, but the part from the curb stop to the house is galvanized, if we don't know if that copper section was ever lead or not, then that section of galvanized is considered a lead service. Because if it ever was lead in the street, and
There's a chance
the
of
galvanized leach, the lead leaches into the galvanized pipe, so that is considered a lead line. If it was always galvanized and that a section was replaced with copper, then we have records showing that, then that galvanized does not need to be replaced.
Okay.
But we can't show it one way or the other, then it's galvanized that needs to be replaced. But there's not a ton of those.
Okay.
When did they stop using lead? What year?
I mean, after the World Wars, it was much less common.
60s maybe, Jim?
Yeah.
Probably in the 60s.
In the 60s.
On the side.
So I don't have like a set thing like the city of Kingston said at this point.
I thought you were going to tell me one time that it was like earlier than that, but it was like in the 50s.
But if we don't have it, we have to be able to
Too
solidly
early.
say
We
can't.
Oh, come on, Jim.
No way.
We can't
What-
assume.
what were you
If we
putting
don't
in
have
it?
something that specifically said that the
65.
section of the street is this, we have to assume we don't have it.
Long hours.
Unfortunately. I think a lot of the unknowns are going to turn out not to be lead. It's just how do we identify it? That's the problem.
Jimmy, you never put lead in, right? You always use copper, right?
That's right.
Yeah, I'm
Sure,
sure
the
there's,
list of every service you ever done.
yes. Well, I'm sure there's cases too where there's
I used a
was
lot.
probably lead pipe available, even though it wasn't supposed to be used, and some guys can probably say, well, I gotta use up this lead pipe, so.
I used a lot of lead pipe, but it was for sewer,
Okay.
sewer jobs. That was good. You didn't have to buy lead.
Okay. Professional auditing service bid results.
Yeah. So that was a small change on the budget draft that you had. So this went out, we only got the one submission. So this EFPR group, this happens to be that they do most of the city, I'm talking to John Toohey, they do the city's audit, they do KLDC's audit, they do the land bank's audit. This would be the same partner or same accountant that the city has. That's the only proposal we got. So it's either we take this one, we looked at everything. They do a lot of water supplies, they do water Albany. I think they do a lot of stuff out by Buffalo. And this costs, while it's more than we were paying the last couple of years, it's more in line with what we paid UHY. So we were paying UHY back in 2020. We paid them $21,000. So this is kind of in line with those costs from back then.
So we've got a big break. Who'd we use to,
So the bid that we had done back in 21, I think it was 21, we had our RBT, and I think those numbers came in so low because at the time they were the city's auditors, and they felt it would be easier for them. They had won the bid to do ours, to do the city's audit. There's a lot of, I would say, rework. There's a lot of stuff that we have all the sewer information over here, so it's easier for us too when the auditor is saying that we basically have to do the audit twice, and we have to do all the sewer stuff after we do all the water. Same, a lot of the same form, so this works out for everybody.
so who does the city use? This
This
group here?
They seem to have a lot of people from Buffalo, so I think one of their main offices is in Buffalo.
But that are
Williamsville, New York, which I believe
is that
is
out by Buffalo? Yeah.
What was it, Western Union?
Yeah. That the one we had before was a local group, though, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think these groups are like, I think RBT is like a national firm. They had a branch in Poughkeepsie. Well, years and years ago, we had Kimball and O'Brien, which was, but they got bought up by PKHB, who got bought out by UHY.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know if they're still UHY or they got bought out. It's kind of
right.
They change hands so often that it's hard to keep track of who's who.
So this 24,000. I mean, in the budget you have 24.
I changed it. So the
It's
first draft was 10,000. So now it's,
right. But it's just in the.
It's for the audit year is for ending 2024. So we'll pay the bill next year.
Oh, okay.
The audit for this year that we paid for next year.
So the 20,600 is we paying in 26.
The 24,600.
24,600.
Yeah, that'll be the 2026 cost because it'll be after 25 includes.
Okay. So we need a motion to approve this.
Yes, please.
Make a motion to approve.
Okay, do I have a second? Okay, thank you. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay. Bank transfer.
This is an easy one. This is just to cover Debbie's retirement payout. Move it from the retirement account into the general checking for $55,750.14. Got a lot of sick time.
Okay, yeah, well, she's been here a long
35 years, 36 years.
When we set this account up, how did we fund this account? Do you know?
That predates me by a while. Okay. I know we recalculated last June, last May, we recalculated and took some money out because it was overfunded based on a very young staff. Like I think there's only 2 employees currently on that are even close to retirement. Okay. And this 77 remaining is going to be more than enough based on their time and accruals.
Okay.
But how the initial funding, I don't know.
Yeah, I can't remember. You have to go back in and look at when it was set up.
But I don't know. That's back here when it was formed. And then we look at board minutes, I'm sure, but that predates me.
How long have you been here?
A long time. 2018.
Okay. Fly's been having fun, huh?
Something.
I remember setting that fund up, but I don't remember how we paid for it. Okay, so I need a motion to make this transfer.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, a second.
Second.
Okay, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. The IT agreement. So what actually changed? What language changed?
The past one had a lot more about hours, and Kyle kind of rewrote this to more reflect what they're actually doing for us. That's really the biggest change. Dollars are the same.
Okay. Can the mayor, vote on this?
I think the original one was kind of bounced around one person. This is three. I would say most of it from one of those three, but.
I guess all what it's then we're paying over the whole budget. Everything else got those, everything else is federal government except for you. You don't make the idea.
Yeah, I don't know what percent of the, I mean, that would be, I mean, the lowest salaries, that's maybe a little more than half of the lowest salary for that individual.
So the agreement renewal though, will that be 2025?
I guess how then. I mean, that's so on before.
I mean, if we're signing this in November of 2024.
I think we started writing it in September, and that's why that says September.
Okay.
So this would be, I guess, as of the dollars are the same, so it would be as of the date for next year, I guess. So it'd be as of November instead when I sign.
Well, you review this annually, right? Probably in
it's
October or September.
Automatically this time of year.
Well, says this agreement will remain in effect for 1 year from the date of signing.
Well, you're gonna review it in September 2024, right?
Well, we're past December, it says September thing. I'm just suggesting that might.
Just change those days and initial, that's all.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. So we need a motion to accept this agreement.
Amended.
With it.
Yeah,
I'll make a motion. Okay. Second.
I'll second it.
Okay. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? The mayor abstained or?
But you don't have a quorum.
Huh?
You got a quorum?
Do we have a quorum with the three of us? I can vote in the affirmative.
counting.
This,
Is mayor need to vote to have a resolution?
But yeah,
Huh?
you can, what?
Can he vote on this since it's an agreement with the city?
That's a good question. Why not just abstain?
Well, that's what I said.
Does the resolution pass with the people we have here? There's enough people.
He's enough people for the meeting, that's true, he just abstains from voting.
Right.
But are the three we have, is that enough to pass?
Well, yeah, because there's only, well, then there's
3 out of 5.
there's 3 out of 4.
He did get quorum for the meeting.
3 out of 4 for the vote.
He's still voting, but just abstaining. So,
Right.
abstaining,
And so it's either it's
So,
either 3-0 abstain or.
yeah, I generally don't vote on this agreement.
Right, that's what I was asking.
Generally.
I was assuming that you were abstaining from this vote. So, I mean, if we need my vote, then I'll vote in the affirmative.
You don't need the 5 votes, you need the majority of those that attend the meeting.
Okay, so, we have 2 out of 4, or 3 out of 4, whoever you want to mark that down. I guess it's unanimous with 1 abstention, if that even is a truth statement. Okay, we're all set there. Correspondence. 50 New Street.
and 15 new.
So how much is this big penalty?
Did I put that on here?
No, I don't think I saw this, the exact amount.
I don't think it's much.
It's normally what, 10% or for
Yeah.
late charge or whatever, or
Could I put our accounts around? I think we put it. So I get them confused because new and new are so close to each other. So this one was
new.
50 new was the.
So this was the one that submitted the EFT with the wrong information.
Right.
And I mean, you'll see it's folded and starred 4 times. That if they don't give us a check, that we have no way of verifying the information. So if they give us a check and it bounces because we did it incorrectly, then it's on us. But if all we get is this form filled out and they don't do it right, we have no way of confirming if it's accurate or not. And that's why it's on there like that.
So she filled this form out
She did.
and she put her bank routing number and her account number. But somehow she put
I think the account number was wrong. I mean, routing numbers we can kind of
figure out.
just because you can look up that information.
Right.
So I mean, if the routing number doesn't tie to a bank, that's something that we can be like,
So
well, this
she
doesn't look right.
filled this form out, but her account number was incorrect, missing a number or something.
Which she writes into her email here that it was, I think she was missing information, like she only gave us half the number.
She didn't put her correct account number and she missed 2 digits on her account number.
Yeah, unfortunately, my account number was not complete on the form, and therefore someone reached out to me today, but by the time, I'm assuming if someone reached out to him,
We got,
it got bounced back because it didn't clear. And, I'm just curious as to, what are we talking? We're talking $12 or we're talking $6 or something?
33.
$33.
Did you wait till last day for this, or?
Well, it goes out and it's supposed to come out of the account on the due date.
And then the due date comes and it doesn't clear because the account number is wrong, and then it gets kicked back to us that there's no payment in her account, and then so then we send back out to her saying,
because it's supposed to be deposited to us, but then she takes it out that, oh, actually when it's good.
I mean, it's not like we have a whole lot of choice here. Do we need a vote on this? We have a vote.
Unless somebody has it to the letter, we usually just send a letter out tomorrow. Well, 50 new.
Or what?
50 New Street.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, down under correspondence.
Thank you. So. Okay.
I mean, do we have to officially deny this in some manner? Do a motion or?
We don't typically.
No, it's usually.
You don't typically do a motion on it.
Okay. So it's just basically asking anybody if they have any other issues with this, otherwise we'll deny the request.
I suppose if you want to make it, or should you make a motion to deny the request?
Well, anybody have an opinion? I'll either accept the motion or we'll just accept everyone's agreement that they're denying the claim.
Why don't you have it by motion?
Okay.
I'm gonna make a motion to deny the claim.
Okay. I'm accepting a motion to deny the claim for 50 New Street. Do I have a motion from someone? Can I make a motion? Can I?
No, let's make a motion.
No one wants to make a motion to deny this claim? He incorrectly filled out the form.
Then we make a motion to allow the claim.
Well, you can do that too.
I don't think you have the authority to do.
Well, I wasn't in on the discussion, so what was the
The
discussion about?
EFT form was filled out.
Yeah, I saw all that, I read the whole thing.
Well,
so-
you're basically, when you
That's
came in, this is the discussion. You haven't really missed anything. It's,
Okay, and the claim just wasn't filled out correctly, then,
when she filled out the form, she didn't complete the account
okay.
number correctly, and so when
Yeah.
we went to take money out of her account, the bank said it's a wrong account. We get a notice back saying there's no money, in that account, and so her payment didn't go through, and so.
And then she got a late fee,
Right.
okay, Yeah.
Before the check not provided, I understand.
yeah.
So
Okay, so
Motion to deny her claim for,
Requesting action from the board to waive the penalty.
I know, and we can't do that
I don't
because this
believe
is
you have
precedent
authority
set
to
with
no.
something that's already been discussed in the past. So,
We
yeah.
never really had.
you're making a motion to deny the
Sure,
claim?
I make
Okay,
a
do I have a
motion to
second?
deny. Okay.
Do I have a second for that? Okay,
Okay.
any further discussion?
Too close to Christmas for me to be messing with that.
The only thing is that this is something that's come up in the past over and over. Okay. Well, it's been a
Those in
while.
favor of denying the claim?
You don't have the authority to waive a late notice or a late fee. Unless it's due to your fault, your negligence, in that case you can. But otherwise you can't do it, it's because it's giving away city property.
Mhm. Yeah, thank you.
I got a motion and a second to deny the claim for 50 New Street. Those in favor of denying the claim?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Those opposed? Okay, carried. You can send out your letter, Mr. Superintendent. Okay, the next one. Oh, 50 new.
50 new, yeah, that's why I was very confused, I was one of those, I had to go back and forth a couple times.
Okay. So she had a lot of action going on here, huh?
Yes,
So the water main
so I
that broke,
believe he's referring to his internal plumbing.
right, but do you know the water main that broke in her house was after the meter?
I would assume, but I don't know.
Don't know that.
So I mean, based on these three things or four things that he mentioned in the email, I mean, any of those could result in the amount of water that went through the meter. So maybe they all combine together to do so, but we don't really have any way of knowing. I mean, we read it in June and we went back and read it again in October. So any of these three could have been the problem that resulted.
Okay, I mean, the last thing about the water radio, all that means is that you can't read it remotely, right?
Yeah, we had a service call. And we went there,
you went to
repair the wire or repair the radio, whatever we had to do. And then when we got the reading updated, we
found out that it was pretty hot.
The meter staff came back and Kevin immediately called and said, there's an issue, you should probably locate it. And that was when, I mean, this was sent in stating that, I believe they state that their children were off to college and the toilet was running. And that could be thousands of hundreds of gallons.
Well,
I mean, just that alone.
I'm guessing that either the combination of the water main that broke in the house and the hot water heater leaking.
Yeah, based on these emails, they're very lucky that it was only what it was. I mean, it was 193 units. It could have easily been a lot more.
Right.
We see running toilets result in more usage than that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they'll call and be like, check your toilet, and they call that, and that's exactly what it was. So, considering this email, I would say it's not, they were lucky.
Right.
And there's no sewer on this account, so that's another thing in their favor.
Right, they're only paying the water bill, not the sewer charge. Okay, so we should also have a motion to deny this claim.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, do I have a second?
I have a second.
Okay. Any other discussion? And those in favor of denying the claim? Those opposed? Okay. Denied. Do we need to go into executive session?
We got to fix the ratings. We can.
And do the
We have,
bills yet either.
Huh?
Yeah, do the.
Oh, we gotta go back into the bills. Okay, we can go back and do presentation of bills and accounts. Motion to accept them.
I'll make the motion.
Second, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, James.
You're welcome.
You want to go superintendent's report? Do we need to go into executive session
I
for?
have an update
Devin?
on the, no, I don't think we need, don't somebody has a question on that, I don't have anything. I mean, it's here, so if somebody has questions, we can do that as well. But I do have an update on the legal situation with
Okay.
one of our neighbors.
So, yeah, okay, well, why don't we handle this first, right?
If nobody has any questions, we can do that right now.
So everybody saw the memo about Devin Sussin being promoted, provisional pending exam, right, to water plant operator / mechanic. So I need a motion to make that, approve that promotion.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, second. Any discussion? Okay, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? How often do they, there's an exam for this, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, that kind of just whenever it is.
It says a testable position.
It could be years.
Okay.
I don't believe that's one that they can just do locally. I think that's one the state has to.
Oh, really? Hmm. Anything else other than going into executive session?
Oh, I got more.
Oh, okay. You want to go into executive session now, or you want to?
We can touch on, we can do this first, I guess.
Hmm?
I have a quote here. So I don't know if anybody noticed, it's dark so early now, but the shingles on the roof are done.
No, I didn't. Okay. Well, this is where
And
Nice.
I'm sorry,
the shingles.
on this building.
Okay.
They were replaced last week. So that photo there, you'll see all the holes in the siding, the facade or whatever. So we have some quotes to repair that damage.
On the siding.
Yeah, you see like all those, it's basically everything, each one of these around it.
Yeah, I noticed the
it.
siding coming in.
Yeah.
That I didn't.
So we have to repair what's there. He quoted 11,000. To replace it with wood siding like that's there is 14,500, or to put vinyl siding, 12,500. And this isn't something that we have to do tonight. Maybe we could go. I could reach out to other roofers as well. This work here on the roof.
Who gave you this estimate? The guy who did the roof?
The guy who did the roof while he was here gave us numbers to do that.
Yeah, why don't you
I mean, we can look at other ones as well.
yeah, why don't you get a couple of extra
But that's just
quotes. So his was for, what was his again?
So to replace with vinyl, it's 12,500. To replace with wood, it's 14,500. And to just repair what's there is 11.
Okay, and then he's only going to, you're talking about this stuff.
All white.
Yeah. And, okay. And right now it is wood, what we have right now, right? Yeah.
What's left?
So, yeah.
What's not rotting away?
I guess we could try to get some, just some more estimates.
Yeah.
14,000, I mean, I would go with the wood, but 14,000 seems like quite a bit.
I was
that little bit.
Yeah,
that little bit that's actually gonna be done, right?
I think the vinyl will hold up better, though, right?
Yeah. I don't know.
It's really bad for the environment.
You gotta do environment, you gotta do maintenance, right?
But we'll look into it.
Yeah, look into it.
It's been like that for years, so what's one more winter? It has to go through another winter.
I mean, they actually have composite materials too now, other than wood or vinyl.
Cement board?
That.
Cement board, yeah.
Cement board?
I think that's what we have at the plant, and that's falling apart.
Cement board is?
That's what it is.
Oh, really? That's supposed to be like a 50-year guarantee on it or something.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's what they're referred to it as, but we went up there and looked at it, and it's just crumbling. So we might have the same kind of issue at the plant when we get up there.
Okay. So where are they with roofing that's the other, the plant was the other up?
They're gonna start the plant Friday?
Yeah.
So the shingles of the plant will be done on Friday and Saturday or however long it takes them.
Do you know when the cement board was put up in
At
that?
the plant,
Yeah.
within the last 20 years, I believe. That's how long Derek's been here.
Yeah, because we should look at that, because I was under the impression cement board was.
And it could be something
Supposed to
different.
be
I
really
feel that he
long-lasting.
told me it was cement board, but I could be.
Yeah, maybe, I mean,
told me.
I mean, the cement board that they were putting up 20 years ago might be completely different than the cement board
Mhm.
that they're advertising now too.
Yeah,
So the only other thing I had is just, Bluestone Court, that's a FYI, they're looking to, there's a developer with the planning department, they're looking to put in a subdivision there. And part of that would require them putting in a water main to turn over to the water department. They're working on the seeker, I believe, right now, so,
Just up off of Lucas.
yes. So I think originally it was gonna be a single building or multiple buildings, but now they're looking at 15 subdivision lots with 15 individuals.
And we making out with the town of Ulster issue.
I have, that's the,
That's the
Okay.
executive issue. Yeah, okay, that's on like.
and that's just at this point, there's nothing, it's just it's common.
Okay. And we talked also about looking into the traffic circle, trying to get a final thing on where we stand with that, and if not, suggestion is contacting contacting the comptroller's office.
Yeah, at this point, I don't know who else you got to me. It was my first email, May of 2022, and I've been told that it's not final yet, but they could potentially owe us $70,000 in return money for work that was under budget.
Mayor, do you have a date over in your office someplace when the traffic circle was DOT considered that to be completed?
Yeah, they sent us, I think, substantial completion letters, but I don't know when.
And you can
Off the top of my head, we have.
something. So I mean, you would have at least something to go off of and say, well,
yeah. And again, I think it's in my emails as well. There was 40 emails there, and every couple of weeks I reach out to them and ask them, and I get the same response, or we'll look into it.
Or people leave, right?
Yeah, and people leave or retire, so.
we need to get this thing resolved. It's been dragging on the way too long. Well, I guess we can do superintendent's report real quick before we go in executive session. Any questions on? The two new taps, you don't know what the two new taps were at all, do you? Normally, just put them down.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see.
No, all right, okay, I'm just curious. And so those main breaks, they're on pretty big lines, aren't they?
Yes. So the Broadway one was the boil water for that area that we had. I think it was a Friday afternoon break or a Friday morning break that turned into a Friday evening break. And the roundout drive that was an easy one. That was just a quick sleep. So the 12-inch on Broadway was a hassle. That was several hours of.
And where is that? That must be pretty far down.
That was right at I'll say the Beal. Right at the Beal.
Okay. And my other question was on the meter maintenance, the number of stopped and frozen meters, is that typical, normal? Do you know, or
Doesn't seem.
I mean,
well, the stop is a little high. I think June is inflated. So we had, maybe it wasn't June.
well, June you had 9 and October you had 8, so
Yeah,
half of them are in just those 2 months.
But they're all in the same area. So I can't recall when we had it. I want to say it was February, March. We had that breakdown in Delaware, the big break on Delaware. Mm-hmm. And when the water got turned back on, I think a lot of people had their water on, and it kind of stopped a lot of meters on Second Ave. So we had a bunch of people on Second Ave and went out to read a couple months later, where the meter was not reading, and we got in there, and unfortunately, the meter just died.
So are they? Is a recommendation then to turn your water service off then
when people call us, let us flush hydrant, because if you turn it on, you're going to get all that debris and silt and but it's flush hydrants first. So for whatever reason, I've never seen it before, but it just seemed too much of a coincidence that they were all on that street in that area where the water was turned off momentarily.
I'm just curious.
So that number is probably a little higher. I don't think frozen is really any higher than it typically would be. I just look at old, last year's numbers. That doesn't seem like it's extravagant. I mean, we've seen people have frozen meters, multiple quarters in a row because they don't take care of their meter.
And the ones that are stopped, I mean, you have a record of like how old they were? I mean, is it like, okay, this meter is 20 years old and we kind of expected it to be failing versus.
So if they're within a certain time frame, then there's a prorated amount we get back, so we return them.
Okay, to the manufacturer. I was curious because all of a sudden I'm looking at that number there and I just didn't know where that was compared to average year. So just okay. Motion to accept the superintendent's report. Unless anyone else has other questions.
Make the motion.
Okay, second. Those in favor? Opposed? Motion to go into executive session for discussion of legal matters.
Make motion.
Second.
Okay, those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you, Michelle. Okay, we're out of executive session. Is there any further agenda items? Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
Ooh, those in favor? Opposed? Thank you.
You said you weren't gonna do that.
Jim, what you have?